And here's a review on DC Direct Elseworlds JSA The Liberty Files. This figure is part of DC Direct's Elseworlds line. This came out in 2007-ish. And with that line being a line of figures, I'm saying line way too much. Here's their stand that is typical of all the figures in that, trying not to say line, in that series. As far as I know, there's only one other figure that came out on the part of the Liberty Files, which was the Flash, and it shows because they also share the same design elements. Just because it's first off, let me just say I haven't actually read the Liberty Files, so from what I understand of that is they're all the JSA. They're government operatives, and it's a World War II setting. So if the goggles or some things look a bit steampunkish, then that can pertain to that. But this figure is very nice. It's a very cool design. You got like all these, these pouches and whatnot, and just all this nice sculpt and detail and paint. He has a revolver, which is strange to see from Batman. He has goggles, which I'm always a fan of goggles for some reason. And one nice thing I like about like to find details in this, like for example, if you look at his cape right here, see the sculpting. You got buttons right there. So this cape is a repurposed coat or jacket or whatever. So that's pretty awesome. Now his scale, you can tell right away his stance is a bit. He's crouching, and that's kind of his natural stance. There's not much variation in terms of poses with this guy, so I hope you like this pose, because this is all you're going to see him in. But he is in the 7-inch scale, albeit crouched. So he stands, let's say, just about 6 1/4. So it's not bad. Let's put him beside another DC Collectibles now. Prevent his arm from popping off. Here is New 52 Batman, and I'd say if he was standing up straight, he'd be right in scale with him. So there's that. I'll bring in a DC UC figure, or I don't have a lot, so here's Aquaman. And you can tell right away, I mean, this is him standing, and only then he comes up to just like the proportions and everything are off too. That being said, the whole design is different, and that's a whole other thing. But you can see right there, they wouldn't really fit in scale that well. So there's that. Now the sculpt on this guy is fantastic, I think. A lot of love went into these guys, and this is right around the time action figures in every line was kind of awesome. Like even a lot of Marvel stuff was pretty sweet. Then again, I don't remember 2006 very well, so that might just be nostalgia speaking. But you can see a lot of nice detail. We got these, I don't know what you want to call it. It's like line work or something going on in the cowl right there. You see his goggles. If we go in a bit closer, see even his goggles are sculpted. Like there's some dry brushing on there just to bring out all that sculpted lines. He does have a collar here. Now this whole, go back out. This whole thing with the cape and what this is pretty pliable. It's like a kind of rubbery soft plastic, so it won't get in the way too much. But that's that's a whole other story for the arms, because it doesn't matter with the arms. And I know I'm sounding like speaking gibberish, but you'll get what I'm talking about after. So yeah, the sculpt looks nice on this guy. A lot of nice. I like the, just the wrinkles and like the folds and everything here. Go around to his musculature. It looks kind of weird, but that's superhero aesthetic. So there you go. There's a lot of heavy detail in the pouches on his belt, right there. And he has another. This one's softer material. It's a holster for his gun. There. So yeah, this part's softer material. These are all plastic. As well, he has another pouch on the back. And if you go back right, if you can see it, that little slot right there, that's for the knife he's currently holding. Like that. And now you see that that lining that was going on his cowl continues down to his pants. And oh, I forgot one thing. There's his bat symbol right under. He's just wearing it on his collar right there. But yeah, the detail from his cowl goes down to his pants. So that's pretty neat. And again, a lot of the same detail on his boots. Like so, you can see. Nothing on the bottom, and peg hole for the stand, and his knife just fell. But overall, pretty nice. Where'd that go? Let me just pick that up. And I guess that can lead us into accessories. So, accessory-wise, he comes with a stand, obviously. He comes with that knife I dropped, which, if I can just focus a bit, please. Yes, no, maybe. Will you do it? Come on. Whatever, you can see it well enough. Well, there's not much detail going on in it anyways. Like, you see a groove right there in the knife, right there in the blade. The handles, there's not much sculpt work going on there. It's just, you know, flat brown, well, painted plastic. The pins are painted at least. That's nice, and I like the shape of this. It's just a weird, and it's a nice silver paint on there, by the way. I don't know what kind of knife this is. I don't know weapons, but it's interesting. Not just a regular knife, so I like that. He does also come. Well, actually, before we get to the gun, he has one other accessory which I left off of him because this has nowhere to store. He has a pair of binoculars. Just regular, you know, black plastic with silver lenses. It would have been nice if they put actual clear lenses in there, but there we go. And now his gun, which is, I'm pretty sure this is a revolver gun. I'm trying not to break this. Please don't break. Yeah, if you get this figure, you might want to be careful because, if you can see, I already sort of snapped mine where the trigger hole is, or whatever you want to call, whatever that's called. But as you can see, it's a revolver. It's very interesting. All the pins are sculpted. The barrel looks great. The barrel is my favorite part. It was like, I think it was just miniaturized. I don't know if that can spin. Can that spin? No, it can't. It looks like it can, just because it's like it was put together separately. That's a separate piece right there. He also has a. So yeah, the thing that baffles me is just seeing a suppressor or a silencer on a revolver like this. Which, I don't know if that was a thing. If it is, then cool. Again, I don't know much about weapons. So there's that. This does detect. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, you can see some nice sculpt work on that silencer suppressor thingy right there. And this does detach. Although it does leave a little peg on the end of the barrel, but you're probably going to want to keep this together anyway. So yeah, that looks very nice. Now the knife and the gun, they do store on him. But I'm going to bring up a problem I have with this figure. Let's go down a bit. Like so. So as you can see, there's a flap right here. It fits over that peg right there, and you can close it and whatnot, and great. The problem is, it's sort of, see, I don't have much space to work with when I'm trying to put this gun in. And one flaw I feel is, I wish they could have like fixed or something. His arm doesn't go up that far. That's as far as it'll go. And if you rotate it, you can get it like that. That makes it a bit easier, but you're fighting, you know, you're fighting against this. As soft as this is, it does kind of get in the way of trying to put this in. So I'm not going to try to do that, but it will fit in there. You just gotta work with it a little bit. Now, his knife, it fits in there, but you know, it's such a, it's, can you even see it? Hold on. Yeah, there it is. It fits in there. I've seen pictures. I've tried. I don't know. I feel like if you have to like shove really hard. So I've never actually managed to get it in there. If you do get this, you can fit it in there, but I unfortunately haven't been able to. The articulation on this guy, It's not much. It's DC Direct. His head's on a ball joint, which is pretty good actually. He can pivot like that, look up, about that much, or maybe a bit further. And this collars are part of the same, material as the cape, so it won't inhibit articulation that much. He can look left and right pretty fine. His arms, like I said, they don't go up that far. It's about as far as they go. They can rotate forward and back. They are on the ball hinges. As you can tell from the sculpt, there's no bicep rotation, unfortunately. His elbows, they do move in a decent amount, like so. And he does have rotation in the club, or forearm. Nothing in the waist. His legs do move forward and back. Unfortunately, mine has stuck joints, so the hips on this leg, the hip on this side is stuck, and this knee joint is stuck. So I'm not going to try to bother, I don't want to risk breaking them. So this leg can bend straight out, like so. And the boots have a rotation, and forward and back at the ankles, like so. So yeah, you can see if he could stand up straight, he'd be around the 7-inch scale. Then again, he's still kind of, it's because of the way this is offset, it's still kind of standing like that or something. I don't know if you want to do that kind of pose. But you can't have him standing all the way straight up, just because the way this knee is sculpted, that's as far as it's going to go, unfortunately. So yeah, if you can find this guy, I'd say pick him up. I mean, there were a lot of gems in that line that had a lot of nice sculpting with a lot of nice designs, and I feel like this is definitely one of those figures. If you have it in a Batman display, I would recommend it. So there he is, DC Direct, Elseworlds JSA The Liberty Files Batman.